these areas quite well, and they can actually even time themselves. Maybe do exercises, when it is not disaster time, to see how quick they can get to those safe zones, and also be able to use that to effect, family disaster plan as well. Okay, but critical to our response and the safety of everyone in the nation is that we listen to the instructions that is given and act accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sutton. We're out of time, and so we're going to have to wrap up this discussion here today on Voices. Let me say thank you guys so much for joining us today. And let me apologize as we experienced some technical difficulties. But you were listening to Voices on WINN FM 98.9 for today, Friday, July 30, 2021. And joining us today for the first hour was Miss Vesta Southwell, Public Relations Officer at NEMA, and she was joined by Mr. Coyote Sutton, Major Coyote Sutton, Chair of the Search, Rescue, and Initial Clearance National Disaster Subcommittee of the St Kitts and Nevis National Disaster Plan. Thank you guys so much, and I wish you the very best. Have a good one.
You found the sound. 98.9 WINN FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International. By land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
We are faced with tough decisions every day, but choosing the right home or motor insurance shouldn't be one. You need fast claim settlement from a company that's been rooted for over 31 years. And don't forget the A Excellent rating by AM Best. Make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Reliable insurance that you can count on. Get a quote today for your home, motor, contents, and liability insurance needs, and make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance. Tomorrow secured. Local agents, Dalil Walwyn & Co. Limited. Telephone 465-2631 or 469-5303 for the Nevis office.
With the WINN Headline News, I am Kevon Brown.
And I am Devon Cornelius.
Making the headlines, a young man's path to truth, accountability, and justice through forensic science. Regionally in Antigua and Barbuda, the government will subsidize COVID-19 testing for unvaccinated frontline workers. That and more in the Caribbean Roundup. Internationally, Japan is extending its state of emergency and restrictions will continue in Tokyo until the end of next month. Now, the details.
Truth leads to accountability, and accountability leads to justice. And that's really what we should be interested in.
So says Kittitian forensic scientist Kieran Phillip. Phillip believes that one way to help find the truth for the ultimate goal of justice is complementing police work with scientific crime scene investigation.
To have somebody who had an interest specifically in forensic science or even crime scene investigation, to have somebody who was not a police officer coming, to work out there in the field doing this, like that was a big thing, and that was really the start of some ongoing developments that have been happening in the Royal St Christopher and Nevis police force. You want to bring in civilians at that level, specifically train them to do this work, so that you have this separation between what police officers need to do, and what can happen in terms of the forensic science and the physical evidence, especially as it goes on to court.
The son of the soil made those remarks during an interview on the July 29th broadcast of Island Tea hosted by Jade Johnson and Azim Bailey. Phillip disclosed that he knew that he wanted to be a scientist from a young age and dreamt of opening up a private forensic science laboratory on St Kitts.
I liked watching television shows that was around crime and what's not. My father was actually a big fan of Law and Order. The original Law and Order.
Ali, we're speaking.
And then the original CSI came out. We were living in England at the time. This is around 2002, 2003. Around that time, the original CSI came out, and I was really drawn to that because I saw science being used for people. It was something that was very practical. It was something that was very applicable to real life. So I thought, this is definitely what I have to do. This is how I want to use, my skills and my knowledge. So that really sparked the interest for me. And from that moment on, I really started to be strategic about getting into forensic science.
Mr. Phillip obtained his bachelor's in chemistry from the University of the Virgin Islands, then a master's in forensic science from the Virginia Commonwealth University. From 2013 to 2019, he worked with the Royal St Christopher and Nevis Police Force, first as an intern. In 2014, he became the first civilian appointed as a crime scene investigator. Now he lives in Toronto, Canada, and continues to develop his career. But what does a crime scene investigator do?
Crime scene investigation specifically is all about going to locations where you believe you might find evidence of criminal activity, and you want to be able to identify, document, and collect physical evidence that could help you support the findings of criminal activity. So that's really what it's about, and you want to be able to identify it using several different means. Sometimes you might just be able to see, broken glass. Then for sure it's a break-in. But it's not all about what you can see, because there's a lot of stuff that you can't see with the naked eye at least. So you need to be able to use different equipment, relying on the chemical and physical characteristics of physical evidence that will be able to highlight these items for you to see them and be able to document them using various means. One very popular means is photography. We do a lot of that for sure in St Kitts and Nevis. There's also videography, which we don't do much of, but you could also document scenes that way. There's also note-taking, very basic documentation skill, as well. And after you have identified and documented your evidence, then you need to be able to collect it. And collecting it is very important because you want to be able to collect items with as little contamination as possible. So you need proper packaging for that.
Phillip explained.
And you need to also keep in mind something called chain of custody. You could also refer to it as the integrity of the items or the continuity of the items. You want to be able to show that this item was in a particular location, then it was collected by said person who took it to this location, and they passed it on to this other person who was in this location, etc., etc. You want to be able to establish a firm continuity of your evidence. As I would mention, all of this is really part of being able to take a case to court that is going to be able to assist the justice system in figuring out what is true. Because that's really the aim of forensic science. It's all about uncovering the truth.
He admits that the job is definitely not as easy as it looks on television, especially related to the turnaround time for processing evidence so that an arrest can be made.
The time aspect is something that we definitely can't get behind in forensic science. I mean, you look at what's going on, around the world in terms of PCR testing for COVID-19. So if you have the virus that causes COVID-19, actually using a laboratory technique that actually amplifies the DNA of the virus so that we could identify and confirm that that virus is present in your body. And that technique is actually really well used in forensic science. The shortest possible time that we have right now to do it, at least routinely, is 24 hours. So that alone tells you that, you're not going to be able to solve any crime in one day. And then there's the issue of, particularly looking at DNA analysis. If you go to a scene and you're able to collect a sample for DNA analysis, have it properly collected and packaged and stored, it's going to take some time before your analyst gets to that sample. That alone is some lag time right there. And then, of course, the actual analysis takes time. You're going to do your PCR run. It's going to take 24 hours for you to get that result. Somebody has to then put those results into a database. And we don't know if we're going to get a hit or not, because lo and behold, not everybody, who you would suspect of criminal activity is contained within any specific database.
As with any career, there are specializations, a specific area of expertise, and forensic science is no different. Philip admitted that generalization in the field, doing a little of everything, could lead to burnout.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Mark Brantley, rejects allegations that claim that a top government official was bribed to provide Nigerian Rahman Alunwa Abbas, known as Hush Puppy, with a passport through the Citizenship by Investment CBI program.
Sure. Cornelius, WINN FM. A top local blogger has alleged that the CBI program is getting the wrong attention with a reported Nigerian claiming to have conducted transactions with officials here. Are you aware of any matter of this nature pertaining to a Nigerian and our CBI program? And if so, can you comment on this type of messaging, and do they prompt investigations?
Mr. Cornelius, we have a citizenship by investment program. We have lawyers, we have other professionals involved in that program. They don't work for free. They get paid for their services. And when I saw the number 50,000, I said, that's pretty much what you would pay if you're paying for your government fees, you're paying for the registration fees, you're paying your legal fees, etc. So I want to make it very clear that based on the little that I have seen in the public domain, there is absolutely no allegation being made against anybody in St Kitts and Nevis, any service provider, any government official, or anyone else. So I want to make it very clear that I have absolutely no information that anything untoward would have happened here locally, or that anybody locally would have engaged in any untoward behavior. And so I put that in what I would call the disregard bundle. That is one of those stories that really I don't think warrants much more ventilation, because there is nothing to it. Now, if, of course, something else were to come to light, and that would be an entirely different.
Said Brantley at his Thursday, July 29th press conference. Last year, in a statement on Monday, July 6, 2020, Prime Minister of St Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Timothy Harris, said claims that suggest that the fraudster used the CBI option to obtain a passport were false. The Prime Minister said Hush Puppy married Shawana Nikesha Chapman, a 32-year-old Kittitian-born citizen of the United States of America. Chapman, a resident of North Carolina, USA, married Abbas in Nigeria in October 2018, thereby conferring him with the right to St Kitts and Nevis citizenship, the Prime Minister said. The UK Guardian newspaper reported that the United States Department of Justice, in a statement, said Hush Puppy and other conspirators defrauded a Qatari business person by claiming to be consultants and bankers who could facilitate a loan to finance the construction of his school for $1.1 million. The Department of Justice said Hush Puppy used proceeds from the fraud to acquire citizenship in St Kitts and Nevis. According to the indictment document, Hush Puppy used approximately $230,000 of the stolen funds to purchase a Richard Mille RM1103 watch, which was hand-delivered to him in Dubai and subsequently appeared in his social media posts. Other illicit proceeds from the scheme were allegedly converted into cashier's checks, including $50,000 in checks that were used by Abbas and a co-conspirator to obtain a passport by creating a false marriage certificate and reportedly bribing a government official in St. Kitts.
A new season of development is here, according to Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. Presenting the country's annual national budget, the Prime Minister made reference to the proposed international airport. The development of geothermal energy, he said, was well advanced. What was described as the transformation of agriculture and the digitalization of the Dominican economy. Prime Minister Skerrit also made reference to upcoming projects. He spoke about the mobilization of significant financing from the Green Climate Fund for those, quote, transformative projects.
Detailed proposals are being finalized for 8 priority projects in the areas of agriculture, health, education, development, and deployment of renewable energy, housing, and community development. Preparatory work in respect of some of them have begun and is reflected in the budget, and we anticipate that within the next 2 to 3 years, substantial progress on these major projects will be realized. Mr. Speaker, to achieve dynamic Dominica, to achieve resilient Dominica, there are some key matters that must be addressed. No one can deny that air access has been a critical issue that has held back the pace of our development in this country. We are now on the cusp of revolutionizing life and business in Dominica. Construction of our international airport has begun, and this is a major game changer for us here in Dominica and our country. The international airport will be the impetus for the further diversification, transformation, and expansion of our economy. And I am honored to lead this thrust to even more prosperous days for our people and our country.
While his critics accused his government of turning a blind eye to the agricultural sector, Skerrit boasted that the sector continues to expand.
The agricultural sector has shown its resilience and continues to expand. Government has been investing heavily in that sector, recognizing its significant contribution to the growth and development of Dominica. Over the past 2 years, investments in the agricultural sector and our farmers amounted to over $33.8 million. This includes $27 million under the Dominica Emergency Agricultural Livelihoods and Climate Resilience Project to support the restoration of the agricultural sector. As of May 28, 2021, 3,485 farmers and fisherfolks have benefited from this project. 2,702 farmers received crop input packages consisting of fertilizer, agrochemicals, seeds, and tools, of which 2,208 received cash payments to subsidize their labor costs. 3,900 bags of feed for pigs and 18,000 chicks were distributed to poultry farmers. That's chicken chicks. 96 fisher folks received engines consisting of both 50 horsepower and 100 horsepower.
According to the Prime Minister, a number of professionals and private sector people are now investing in agriculture, and one farmer, though not named, was singled out for praise for his efforts.
I know one farmer who has not gotten any help from the government from the private sector is planting some 5,000 avocado seed and plants, preparing himself for a major export market. I also take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to highlight the commitment of the Dominican hucksters and sheepers under extremely difficult circumstances caused by COVID-19. They have supported the sector by maintaining weekly shipments to our regional markets of some of our main crops.
And the Dominican leader, in his budget address, also described the Nature Isle as a safe destination for tourists. A controversial COVID-19 protocol affecting frontline workers in Antigua and Barbuda has been reviewed by the Gaston Brown-led cabinet. The workers and their unions have been complaining that the measure will be too costly for them. As Minister for Information Melford Nicholas confirmed at a post-cabinet press briefing on Thursday, the cost of fortnightly COVID-19 tests, which were announced by cabinet, has now been reduced. The government had mandated that unvaccinated frontline workers would have to be tested frequently if they did not take the vaccine.
The cabinet took the decision yesterday for the government to provide a low-cost rapid test for those persons who have chosen not to be vaccinated, but who will be required to undergo a test every 14 days, once every 14 days. And so the government has made a decision. We are certainly going to have to put some resources at the disposal of the laboratories, but the government has taken a decision that the cost will now be lowered to $50 per instance for the rapid test. And so to the extent that the position that the government would have taken last week, many have argued, and perhaps maybe forcefully so, that the conditions could prove to be financially onerous and even burdensome to many a person. Just to indicate that the government's balance in these affairs, it's not to necessarily put anyone at the point where they have a feeling that they're being economically oppressed, but there is certainly still going to be a consequence for having to conduct a test. And so the basic cost for these tests, it's $20 and the government has fixed the cost at $50 EC per instance for persons who are exercising the option to be tested, given the regulations that we published last week, the policy decisions that we took last week.
In St. Lucia, expectations are high, with many people reminding the St. Lucia Labour Party government to keep the many promises they made during the election campaign. SLP leader Philip J. Pierre was sworn in as the Prime Minister on Wednesday, with the rest of the government to follow. Choice News Now has been asking members of the public what should be the new government's top priority.
What I'd like to say that we the youth are very important as well, and a lot of us young mothers, we have kids. Our kids are our first priority. We have to take care of our children, and a lot of us are unemployed.
I want them to check for the youth, because right now because of the youth, SLP returned to power. And especially with the youth of countries, we need Mr. Philip J. Pierre to assist us a lot, especially single parents and those that are unemployed in countries.
The new administration, we want for the youth, for working for the country, for farmers, to make a new thing for our community, everything good. And I wish the administration that there work very good for us, and important because I believe in that administration that day, and I support him, and I know he will do the best for our country.
The most important thing I want Philip Shepard to do, finish the hospital in Vieux-Fort. The school. C'est mon qui piche en bachas pour 5 years là. Bayon un peu en bouche yo. Mon voyons because mon converse mon la terre, on simplicity bayo.
Very simple for now. Focus on unifying the public, bringing red and yellow together. Remember, we are first and foremost St. Lucians.
Well, honestly, I feel in no government. I feel the vibe. What I really wanted was free healthcare, and I get that. So I feel in nothing. That's how it is. I feel in the government.
My serious opinion as to one of the first things that they need to take care of is re-establishing St. Jude's Hospital once and for all. Healthcare is very, very important, especially at this time with COVID. Having St. Jude's back in operation would mean that we'd be able to control things better, we would have a lot more space, and just generally that the people of the South are just as human as we are, and that they need a health facility close proximity so that no more lives are lost because of the drive from wherever to Castries.
Well, the first priority should be relief for those persons who did not get relief and are waiting for relief. It's very important.
Well, the COVID, we have to really look into it very serious. Let's not let our guards down. First thing I would want the Prime Minister to do, let us continue and not to give up, because that is an epidemic that is very not good for the country. That's my first priority. My second priority is let us work together and unite the country.
The first thing they need to do is to fix the economy. Yeah, to fix the economy and just get everybody back to work and put everything in place. And I tell you now, that new Prime Minister that's coming in there, he's going to do well. He does listen. Yes, son? He's not trusty. He does listen.
And I work with him already, and I know the kind of money he is. Philip J. is a man that you could trust and have confidence in him.
We now bring you these international reports.
Just a few weeks ago, the White House was touting what it said would be a summer of joy and freedom. Things have changed.
This is an American tragedy. People are dying and will die who don't have to die. If you're out there unvaccinated, you don't have to die.
The US president announced a mixture of incentives and requirements. Employers will be reimbursed for paid sick leave given to employees to get vaccinated, and Biden urged local authorities to use emergency federal aid to offer the unvaccinated $100 to get their shots. In addition, federal government employees and contractors will be required to disclose their vaccination status. If they refuse or are unvaccinated, they will be required to wear a mask no matter their location, physically distance from others, be tested weekly or twice weekly, and have travel restrictions imposed. But this isn't a federal vaccine mandate. The president said he wasn't clear about the legality of one, and federal employees have a choice not to get vaccinated, but clearly their working lives will be more difficult as a result. Biden made it clear this was not a partisan issue.
The vaccine was developed and authorized under a Republican administration, and it's been distributed and administered under a Democratic administration. The vaccines are safe, highly effective. There's nothing political about them.
We have a country in crisis.
That wasn't the message on Capitol Hill, where masks are now mandatory in the House of Representatives, leading to statements of outrage from the Republican minority leader. He tweeted that liberal officials wanted to live in a perpetual pandemic state, which led to this withering response from the Democratic Speaker of the House.
Leader McCarthy says it's against the science.
It's a very unusual, rare event.
The administration's leading virus expert has been trying to explain this is a dynamic situation.
What's changed, Judy, is the virus has changed. The Delta variant has a very unusual capability of spreading much more easily than the Alpha did.
The debate about masking in schools is getting heated across the country.
These kids are not affected. Please stop the insanity. You have already done damage to these kids by having them wear masks. It is.
But other parents argue that it's masking up that would end the confusion about safety.
Oh, tremendously more so comfortable because the strategy worked. They proved it worked. They proved it worked last year.
But perhaps there are some hopeful signs that those who've decided not to get vaccinated so far may not be firmly entrenched in their position. While still way down from the peak seen in April, the numbers of those getting vaccinated have been creeping up week on week. Shia Bertansi, Al Jazeera, Washington.
With cases spiking, Tokyo, it seems, has no choice but to extend its state of emergency through to the end of August. Japan is struggling with competing trends. The increasing spread of the more transmissible Delta variant, accounting now for nearly 3/4 of all new cases in Tokyo, versus growing pandemic fatigue, with noticeably more people failing to stay off the streets than they did after state of emergency announcements in the past.
With the state of emergency being enforced so many times, I think people are starting not to take it so seriously, and because of that, there have been more cases.
At this point, I think there's not much you can do, even if you get the coronavirus. I don't want to get infected, but there are a lot of people who can't avoid it.
States of emergency are expected to be extended to 3 more prefectures neighboring Tokyo, as well as Osaka, which was badly hit by an earlier wave of the pandemic in the spring, when its hospital resources were stretched to near breaking point. The fear is, unless this wave can be brought under control, other prefectures will suffer a similar strain.
It has been recognized that both the infection situation and the pressure on the medical care provision system is extremely severe.
And still, even as these games finish their first week, protesters continue to demand their cancellation, taking their message to the office of the Prime Minister, Yoshihide Suga. In this election year, Suga may find pushing ahead with these games will cost him politically, with still deep uncertainty over what price Japan will bear in terms of public health. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera.
This was a day when fans should have been queuing up at Tokyo's National Stadium to watch the first track and field events. Instead, a view of the Olympic rings outside the venue is the best they can hope for.
Due to concerns over the spread of coronavirus, the Japanese public is being kept away from the athletes. Organisers insist these competitors are tested more often for COVID-19 than any other community in the world, and say there is no link between the games taking place and infection rates hitting record levels in this city.
But Olympic officials have for the first time admitted not everyone connected to the Games is following the rules about minimising contact with the wider population.
There has been some cases that those accreditations were temporarily suspended. We are not giving their specific numbers today, but there has been a certain number of cases we have addressed.
Tokyo is officially under a state of emergency. As dramatic as that sounds, it's a request rather than a law or an order, and it relies on public cooperation. Government critics say carrying on with the Games is sending the wrong signals.
Actually, it is hampering the message of staying at home by the government by celebrating the Olympic Games. So it is certainly producing the atmosphere of optimism that nothing is going on and Japan is happy. Hence, it is linked to the current increase of the infection, I think.
27 new Olympic-related cases of COVID-19 were reported on Friday, and 3 Australian athletes remain in isolation after coming into contact with American pole vaulter Sam Kendricks, who's out of the Games after a positive test.
I believe there was a mixture of maybe a brief hug and a handshake from some others, but I haven't done all the details except that it was brief. And but you know, again, it's and we can understand how these things occur, but it's a reminder that this is a Games that's different, and we just can't afford to take those sort of risks.
It all means a once-in-a-generation sporting event has, for most Japanese, been reduced to a brief photo opportunity. Andy Richardson, Al Jazeera, Tokyo.
You were listening to the WINN FM headline news on 98.9. Our top stories were: a young man's path to truth, accountability, and justice through forensic science. Regionally, in Antigua and Barbuda, the government will subsidize COVID-19 testing for unvaccinated frontline workers. That and more in the Caribbean Roundup. Internationally, Japan is extending its state of emergency, and restrictions will continue in Tokyo until the end of next month. Thank you for listening.
That was the WINN FM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
We are faced with tough decisions every day, but choosing the right home or motor insurance shouldn't be one. You need fast claim settlement from a company that's been rooted for over 31 years. And don't forget the A Excellent rating by AM Best. Make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Reliable insurance that you can count on. Get a quote today for your home, motor, contents, and liability insurance needs, and make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance. Tomorrow secured. Local agents, DeLille Walwyn & Co. Limited. Telephone 465-2631 or 469-5303 for the Nevis office.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International. By land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Found the South 98.9 WINN FM.
Welcome back to Voices on WINN FM 98.9. I'm your host for today, Ron Cornelius. Good afternoon to all of you, and thank you guys so much for joining us on today's edition of Voices. It is 12:42. Let me apologize for the late start we had as we were just wrapping up with the news. I am your host for today, Devon Cornelius. We have joining us this afternoon members of the St Kitts and Nevis UE Alumni Association. We have Gail Gray Phillip, who serves as the head of the UE, that's the University of the West Indies Open Campus site in St Kitts. We also have Jihan Williams, who is the newly elected president of the St Kitts and Nevis UE Alumni Association, as well as Mr. Craig Tuckett, who serves as the UE Global Alumni Representative and immediate past president. And today we will be using this opportunity to speak about an upcoming event that the association, the UE Alumni Association, will be hosting come Sunday, August 1st, 2021. But I would want to give them the opportunity to speak about this upcoming event and to share with you, members of the public, what is expected and what will be happening at this event come Sunday, August 1st. Let me thank you guys so much for accepting our invitation, and I will allow you briefly to introduce yourself to members of the public, starting with Mrs. Gray Phillip. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for having us. As you indicated, my name is Gail Gray Phillip. I am the head of the University of the West Indies Open Campus, St Kitts and Nevis site. And we're here to talk about the upcoming Global Giving and Pelican Award ceremony to be held on August 1st, which is Sunday, Emancipation Day, commencing at 5 p.m. This is our 5th annual Global Giving Ceremony and 4th National Pelican Award ceremony. The ceremony is held under the theme Emancipate, Educate, Donate. The aim, want me to continue?
I was just about to head over to Miss Williams.
Okay, all right, okay. Okay, all right, I'll give Jen a chance.
Yes, Miss Williams, good afternoon, and thank you so much for accepting the invitation to join us here on Voices.
Yes, good afternoon, Devon. Thanks for the invitation and allowing us to be here this afternoon to talk about the events of the University of the West Indies Open Campus and, of course, the events of the St Kitts and Nevis chapter of the UE Alumni Association. My name is Jihan Williams, and I'm the recently elected president, only about 2 weeks now, of the St Kitts and Nevis chapter of the UE Alumni Association.
Great, and congratulations, Ms. Williams, on your new position. Mr. Tuckett, he is the UE Global Alumni Representative and immediate past president. Mr. Tuckett, do you have any words for our listeners?
Well, first, let me thank again the staff and management of WINN FM, who has always been facilitating us since I got involved as president of the St Kitts and Nevis UE Alumni Association, and then the UE Council rep for all chapters globally. And I must thank you as well for accepting to be the moderator for today's discussion, and we look forward to a very interactive one, not only with you, but also with anyone who decides to call it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tuckett, Ms. Williams, and Ms. Phillip. It is 12:46, and we are going to head right into this conversation, this discussion that we're going to have today. So, as Ms. Phillip hinted earlier, we will be talking about an upcoming event that will take place on Sunday, August 1st, 2021. It is the 5th annual UE Global Giving and the 4th Annual National UE Pelican Award Gala. Now, I am sure there are members of the public who would want to know, well, firstly, what is this annual UE Global Giving Gala, and what is the annual National UE Pelican Award? Would anyone want to lead on explaining to the public what these events really are and what purpose do they serve?
I will speak to the global giving. The University of the West Indies on the 1st of August, we have a day where we encourage alumni to donate to the university. So August 1st on Emancipation Day, years ago we started with the Global Giving Day, then we expanded to Global Giving Week, Global Giving Month, and now we're doing the months of August and September, where we encourage past students and friends of the university to donate. Persons can donate online. Persons can also go to the site in St Kitts, the gardens, to donate to the university. We encourage not only monetary donations, but persons can give off their time, their talents, they can mentor, etc. throughout the year, of course. But we focus on August and September this year as the months for giving back to the university. So as a chapter, we promote and encourage our past students to donate during this time.
Ms. Williams, will you be focusing on the other aspect of this upcoming event?
Craig? Craig is online?
Yes, Craig is online with us.
Yes, I think Craig loves the opportunity to speak about the Pelican Award, so I'll let him have the thunder.
I cannot believe that, Madam President.
Delegation.
Yes, delegation. Well, the Pelican Award is a prestigious award that has been instituted by the University of West Indies alumni chapters through the Directorate of the UE regional headquarters that deals with UE alumni relations globally. It started off to be held annually at the Vice Chancellor's Awards Dinner, which is done once a year around, I would say around February, March. That's when the Vice Chancellor would give recognition to members of faculty or staff for their outstanding work and service to the university as teachers, as lecturers, or administrators. And at the same time, he would offer an award to outstanding alum who would have done great work in the nation building or in adding to the development of the region or adding some sort of service to the international global village. And so that then blossomed into each chapter having the ability now to have their national award. And so we have been doing this now for 4 years. So we had first, as our first awardee, as Sir Kennedy Simmons, our only living national hero. And then we had the late Dr. Keith Archibald for his work in agriculture. And as you know, he was not only Director of Agriculture here in St Kitts and Nevis, but he was a lecturer at the University of West Indies St Augustine campus. He was the head of CARDI and also of AICA. And recently, last year, would have been Miss Lorna Callender for her work as an educator, in journalism, not only in St Kitts and Nevis, but in the region. So we will be having our 4th awardee, who is someone who is deserving of this award, this very prestigious award. And when you come on and you follow the program on Sunday at 5 p.m. on ZLZ radio and television, which is being shown live and also going to be shown on UETV, you will see who that person is.
Great. I wanted to ask, how is the process in terms of selecting the awardees? Is there a committee in place, a group of individuals that would have a judging criteria to choose the awardee for this event? Anyone can tackle that question.
Madam President?
Craig, I think I've been here for 2 weeks. I think you're positioned to speak to that one more better than I do. Yes.
So yes, we do have a selection committee. The criteria is that person has to be an alum of the University of the West Indies who is from, well, not only, he or she doesn't have to be a citizen or a national. They could actually be resident in St Kitts and Nevis. So they could have come from another CARICOM member state, but they live in St Kitts and Nevis, and because they have done so much good work in nation building or even regionally, then they will be selected as one of the possible choices. And then we go through those who are nominated from the public or from other alums within the association, and then a selection is made. The best choice is put forward, and of course the person is gently invited to come to the event without actually knowing that they have won. So it's supposed to be a surprise. And of course at that event, which is on Emancipation Day, always on the Emancipation Day. So whenever and whatever day the 1st of August lands, we will have the event on that day in commemoration of Emancipation Day. And then they are given a citation and the award, and they normally are shocked most times.
Thank you, Mr. Tuckett. I wanted to head over to Ms. Williams. Ms. Williams, what is the role, what will be your role as the newly elected president of this association at this upcoming event?
Well, at the event as president, I will be the one who will be announcing who the Pelican Award is. If you twist my arm hard enough, I still won't give you the answer. You just have to tune in on Sunday and find out who that person is. And of course, just to be there to support the rest of the committee, and of course the Governor General, whose kind patronage the event is being hosted under. So that's what's happening on Sunday, but I don't know if you're interested in finding out about past Sunday, or am I jumping the gun a bit?
No, you're not. I actually, that was actually my follow-up question in terms of what activities do you guys to well, that will be part of this upcoming event on Sunday.
Right. Well, I guess I'm reading your mind a bit. The Pelican Award ceremony and the global giving, well, I guess it's a period now. It went from, like Gail said, it went from a day to a week to a month. So we call it the period now. These are two of the flagship events of the Alumni Association that, of course, the Executive Committee will support, as well as to have a number of other activities that we will have to engage alumni. We have to find them, have to hopefully encourage them to join the association. We will be hosting events to sort of encourage that sort of engagement, encouraging them to support prospective and future students, and, you know, really just use our resources, to support the work of the University of the West Indies and promote the University of the West Indies as a premier choice for tertiary level study. So hopefully, Devon, are you alum? I'm not quite sure.
No, I'm not.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. So I like that, not yet. So if there's even any course of study that, you as a prospective student, you're interested in, or you want to perhaps connect with someone who's been through the process, then we can connect you to that person. We will be looking into all sorts of avenues to promote mentorship, and of course finding ways to support, like I said, the students, current and prospective students as well.
Agreed. Let us take a short break to say thank you to our sponsors, and when we come back, we are going to continue this discussion. Let's take this short break.
Run to Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store now and get a chance to win free groceries for 1 year. By popular demand, Cashback is back, but this time Cashback is back with more quality appliances, more great prices and fantastic deals, more of Hosford's fabulous FlexPay payment plan, and more free groceries. A whole year of free groceries. Come to Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store today and get absolutely free groceries with every higher purchase and a chance to win free groceries for 1 year. Great deals on furniture and appliances. Get cash back for free groceries with FlexPay higher purchase and a chance to win free groceries for 1 year with every $500 spent. All great reasons to shop at Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store this coupon season. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WINN FM.
Welcome back to Voices on WINN FM 98.9. For those of you who are just tuning in, you're listening to an interview with members of the St Kitts and Nevis UE Alumni Association. And joining us today, we have Gail Gray Phillip, who is the head of the UE Open Campus site in St Kitts, as well as Jihan Williams, newly elected president of the St Kitts and Nevis UE Alumni Association, and Mr. Craig Tuckett, who serves as the UE Global Alumni Representative, and he is also the immediate past president. Welcome back to Voices. We're going to be continuing our discussion. It is 1 o'clock on the hour. I wanted to ask, in the context of COVID-19, what challenges have you had in terms of preparing for this event, and how will this event be held come Sunday in the context of COVID-19?
All right, thank you very much for that question. Now, in previous years before COVID, the event is held at Government House under the patronage of His Excellency Sir Tapley Seaton, as Jan indicated earlier. Before COVID, we would meet on August 1st. The Alumni Association, our persons would be invited to the lawns of Government House. We would have our ceremony, which includes reflections on our time at UE, and we'll have a social and an opportunity to give back. However, last year, because of COVID, we were reduced to only 30 invited guests. The ceremony was held in the state room at Government House, and it was recorded and broadcasted later on ZIZ, also on UE TV. So this year, it's reduced to 15 persons, and it will be live on ZIZ TV. It will also be broadcast on social media platforms, including ZIZ Online, UE TV Facebook page, and other social media platforms.
Right, thank you so much, Ms. Phillip.
Devon, I actually wanted to add something about the challenges from COVID. We actually received a request recently from students at the Cave Hill campus who were interested in partnering with us to see if there's any way that we could offer support, because there are some students who are interested in returning home, but because of the COVID-induced costs of PCR tests and quarantine costs, they are having difficulties coming up with the funds to return. So they reached out to us to see if there's any way that we could assist. And it's one of the areas where we see that COVID has impacted our students, and one of the areas where you can see where it would be important for us to give and donate. So even when you give to the University of the West Indies through this global giving period, you can indicate that this is, you want to support someone who's having difficulties because of COVID. Whether it is like these students, they're having difficulties coming up with the PCR test cost, or funding, the stay in a quarantine facility. So it's important for us to realize, and I'm happy that some of your questions have really tackled the issue of COVID-19, because it really has changed the way that we do business and how we conduct ourselves. So this COVID itself has presented issues where it would be even more important to give. I know that some of us have been financially affected by the pandemic. However, it doesn't have to be anything significant, and like Gail mentioned, it doesn't have to be something financial. So if, let's say you have a restaurant and you're willing to send lunch for 2 students who are in quarantine when they come home, different things like that. We just need to think about how we could support each other, and really think about how, especially if you're a UE alumni, if you're a UE alum, you think about how much UE has given to you. You think about how UE has impacted the way that you are right now. Then, it's time to give back. Put your hand out and support somebody who's trying to come up the ladder as you have now. So in the context of COVID, I just really wanted to mention that, so that people can understand that there are specific COVID-related or COVID-induced costs and challenges that perhaps we can think about ways that we can give and support present and prospective students.
Right, thank you so much, Ms. Williams. Craig, do you wanted to add something?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to say as well that, as was mentioned before, it's not always about the money, though it helps. Money does help, but it's about your time. It's about using your skill sets. You might be able to assist the association who is endeavoring to raise funds for these projects, offering grants and scholarships to our own nationals who are attending higher learning institutes or campuses of the University of West Indies. And we would like your expertise. You might be able to help us to organize a gala, a banquet, a concert. Those type of things is where you can also give back. You might be able to help us to mentor a student from 5th form or 6th form or from CFBC who is endeavoring to prepare to go for the first time outside of St Kitts, traveling for the first time to go to University of West Indies. We can give them that type of expectation what they can, things that they can expect when they go to university or whichever campus that you yourself may have attended. So these are the type of things that we would like to encourage those alumni who are listening via your media house and those who would like to give back. Like I said, it's not just on Sunday, it's not just for a week, it's not just for a month, it's a period that is ongoing.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Tuckett. And thank you guys for making that appeal, making that call to persons to support the association and for alumni, past students to support the association. As we continue this conversation, I wanted to ask you, Mr. Williams, I note here that at this upcoming event, you will be speaking about some of the achievements of the association, and of course we will be hearing about the newly elected executive board going forward. And as you are the president, if I may ask, what do you intend to achieve for this association over the next year?
Okay, so thanks for that question. I just want to take the time to mention some of the members of the newly elected executive committee, so that persons can perhaps recognize their names and see them as contact persons as well. So we have Vice President Desi Brown, Secretary Michael Blake, Assistant Secretary Mentris Atherton, Treasurer Laverne Brooks, Assistant Treasurer Sharice Dolphin Gums, Publications and Promotions Officer Leswari Williams, Membership and Data Officer Kayla Farrell, Youth Alumni Facilitator Xavier John Bass, Social Media Facilitator Jacqueline Bryan, and we have 2 executive members in the persons of Dr. Joan Rollins and Felicia Walters. And of course, we still have the guidance of Mr. Craig Tuckett as immediate past president of the St Kitts and Nevis chapter. So it's a big team, but we have a big role. And what we really hope to accomplish in the short to medium term future is we want to get as many members of the association. We want to get persons registered to become members of the association. So we know people who are UE alumni, but they're not necessarily members of the association or registered members of the association. So we really want to collect that data, so we know exactly who our members are, where they are in their careers and personal lives and other issues of that nature. So it's an information gathering stage at this point. And then one of the things that we will hope to do as well is to deal with the issue of mentorship and deal with the fundraising aspects as well, so that we can support current and future students as well. So right now, because there has been so much focus on, and rightfully so, on revitalizing the organization, we now having a full constituted executive committee. It's time. We have been handed a very big baton, and so we plan to run with it as fast and as successfully as possibly. So we're just about to convene and start work, and hopefully you will hear from us in the near future about how persons can become registered members. However, if someone is now listening and they want to join now, you can do that. You can visit the UE Open Campus in St. Kitts or the one in Nevis and fill out the form. But of course, we're working towards getting the forms digitally, and hopefully people can just deal with them. We can send you a link and you can just sign up one time. And of course, as a member, you will be eligible for certain perks and discounts. So our job also is to make sure we find as many of those perks and discounts for our alumni. And I should mention that if you are interested in joining the St Kitts and Nevis chapter, the only thing you need to, the eligibility essentially is that you have to be an alumni of the University of the West Indies. Doesn't matter which campus, doesn't matter what level, but you are an alumni of the University of the West Indies living in or from St Kitts and Nevis. So even if you're from St. Lucia, but you're working at Central Bank and you want to join our chapter, you're more than welcome to do so. But I'll let Craig speak about the accomplishments of the association for the time past.
Right, thank you, Ms. Williams. Craig, you may go ahead.
Thank you again, Devon. So basically, what has transpired for the past 5 years is the envy of many AUE alumni associations and chapters globally. I want you to know that. And I'm not putting, a feather in my cap or boasting in any means or form. Our chapter is over close to 20 years in age, because we've had past presidents like Dr. Wilkinson. We've had presidents like, can you help me out there?
Dr. Lawrence?
Dr. Lawrence, correct. And we've had the permanent secretary, Mr.
D'Souza is the name you're searching
correct.
for.
So we've had a long-standing history of alumni in St. Kitts and Nevis who wanted to participate and to push the promotion of the University of West Indies in St. Kitts and Nevis through the St. Kitts and Nevis Euro Alumni Association. It fell into a little dormancy, and when I came on the scene in 2016, we took up the challenge where we had for the first time hosted the UE Open Campus graduation. It was held at Marriott, and we were part of the organizing and the planning on the ground, and that was an overall success. That was the start of our shining star, per se, in University of West Indies. And then after that, because of that, I was elected to be the UE Council Rep for 2 consecutive years, elected amongst my peers, which are the other chapter presidents globally. And then every year for the past 5 years, we've been awarded the best chapter in the world of the University of West Indies, and also the most active, and also we got the award for being the chapter that raised the most funds for 2 consecutive years during UE Global Giving. So again, I must thank all of my team players who have helped me and supported me. I must also thank His Excellency, the Governor General, Sir S.W. Tarpley-Seaton, who is the patron of this event, and he gives much in terms of advice and guidance. Another most important achievement that we have attained is that before 2016, no national of St. Kitts and Nevis has ever been awarded an honorary degree from the University of West Indies. And the University of West Indies is 73 years old or young. It was after my involvement becoming the UE Council Rep that we lobbied, and that is the fruits of our labor, is that we've had now three nationals consecutively being granted an honorary doctoral degree from the University of West Indies. The first was Dr. Larry Quinlan, the second was His Excellency Sir S.W. Tarpley-Seaton, and the third was His Excellency the Right Honorable Dr. Sir Kennedy Simmons, the only living national hero. It would have been a fourth this year, because we had nominated the lovely and most gracious cultural icon, not only for St. Kitts and Nevis, but in America, amongst African Americans, Miss Cicely Tyson. She was granted the award on behalf of all lobbying, but she passed before she could have gotten it. So again, may she rest in peace. But it shows again our work, and I think that, for me, is the testament to what we have been doing here on the ground in St Kitts and Nevis and globally. And because of that work, I have now been elected again by my peers to be the UE Global Alumni Rep. And I'm the only national of St Kitts and Nevis to have ever attained this position. I must say thanks again to those who have supported me. And I hope to do St Kitts and Nevis proud for the next 4 years.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tuckett. It is 17 minutes past the hour of 1. We'll say a quick shout out to our sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation and begin wrapping up. Let's take this short break, and we will be right back.
Here are your Horsfield's Value Mart IGA Value Club Blue Tag specials from July 15 through 28. 32-ounce Gatorade, just $4.99. Hawaiian Punch drinks, $11.99. Danone and Activia yogurts, 4 packs, fit and light, just $12.99. Cole's garlic bread, toast, $12.99. Granola bars, just $10.99 per pack. Pastaroni or rice-a-roni, just $4.99. And now, our very low weekly value deal. Essential Everyday and IGA Honey Beer, $12.99. Breyers Ice Cream, 48 ounces, just $20.99. Colgate Toothpaste, $9.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí a Value Mart.
Run to Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store now and get a chance to win free groceries for 1 year. By popular demand, Cashback is back, but this time Cashback is back with more quality appliances, more great prices and fantastic deals, more of Hosford's fabulous FlexPay payment plan, and more free groceries. A whole year of free groceries. Come to Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store today and get absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase and a chance to win free groceries for 1 year. Great deals on furniture and appliances. Get cash back for free groceries with FlexPay hire purchase and a chance to win free groceries for 1 year with every $500 spent. All great reasons to shop at Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store this coupon season. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Welcome back to Voices on WINN FM 98.9. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. We're going to open up the phone lines quickly to take some callers from the public. The numbers to call are 466-0989-762 and 662. We're also live on Facebook where you can leave us a comment at WINN Media SKN, and you can send us a WhatsApp at 662-2204. If we have no calls at this time, I wanted to ask, Mr. Lewis, earlier you spoke about, the registration of alumni and getting persons who attended to join the association. Mm-hmm. What about persons who are interested in attending the University of the West Indies?
For them to register their interest with us?
Well, not necessarily register the interest with the association, but in terms of does the association provide assistance to students that would want to attend UE?
Well, in terms of mentorship, there's that opportunity. If someone has questions, if perhaps you are thinking about UE and you're not quite sure or you have questions, you want to know what it's like to study this particular area, and you want to connect with someone, of course you can reach out to us, and we can see if we can connect you with someone who has had recent experience with that particular course of study. If you just have questions, if you have you just want information, you're not sure where to stay, where to look for an apartment, all these different issues that come up when you're going to study, or maybe you want to try the open campus and you're not quite sure what the experience would be like. There's so many people who are registered and those who have successfully passed courses through the open campus that we can connect you as well. So if you have questions, if you want to know more information, of course you can connect with us at the association, or you can of course go to the open campus sites here and get that personalized one-on-one information, rather than just going on a website and trying to figure out what the answer is. We believe in one-on-one personalized service. That's one of the benefits of being from a small island. We can do that. So if persons don't mind if the question seems silly, or if you don't think it's important, but you really want to know, then we're here for you.
I just want to add that there are 4 landed campuses. There's a campus in Jamaica, the Mona campus. There's a campus in Trinidad, St. Augustine, and we also have a campus in Cave Hill, Barbados, and Antigua, 5 islands. The university realized the need to serve other countries in the Caribbean, other than the countries where we have landed campuses. And that's the reason why we have the University Center here in St. Kitts and Nevis. So if anyone have any questions with any of the campuses at the St. Kitts and Nevis site, we would be able to assist. If we don't have the information on hand, we'll be able to get in touch with somebody and be able to provide information for persons.
Right, thank you, Ms. Phillip. Mr. Tuckett, you want to add something?
Yes, and I just want to say as well, we have in the past provided grants and even scholarship. I would say, for instance, we've had, based on the issue of COVID, just last year, I think it was, where a student was unable to complete, I think it was their final year, and they were in really dire straits. And one very generous alum came up, stepped up to the plate, and paid for that student's whole tuition for that year. Now, as an association, we do also have a fund. We used to give grants and scholarships in the past, but unfortunately, and I don't want to touch anything that may be negative, but I would like to encourage persons to, it's like a revolving fund. So we have grants, you could get free, and you have scholarships, but we also have loans. And we expended our funds to the point that it's not revolving because persons are not paying back. And we would like for this to be addressed. We would like to encourage all those who would have benefited from such grants or from such loans or scholarships from the St. Kitts and Nevis UA Alumni Association Fund to understand that without you paying back, we will not be able to give to the next national who needs to attain that higher education that you yourself attained so that they can aid to nation building as well. So please, we would like for all of us to do our duty, to be responsible. We will continue the program again as soon as we recuperate the funds that have been dispersed, and we expect that we will give a proper announcement. And very soon our association will start to have a funding drive again when things free up, when we can have more movement, interaction, and hopefully we'll get the support of not only you who are listening, but all the alum who are presently waiting to be registered and become a part of this active association.
Right, thank you so much, Mr. Tuckett. It is 26 minutes past the hour of 1. We just have about 4 minutes left, and so we're going to begin wrapping up this discussion. Is there anything else that you would like to add at this time before we wrap up?
Yes, I would
Any
like
other messages for
to. Yeah, we spoke about the global giving, and we didn't talk about how persons can give. We have there's an online platform, www.uwi.edu/giving. Persons can go to that website and donate as little as US $10, and there you can indicate where you'd want your funds to what you'd like to support. You can indicate you'd like to support the campus on which you attend now, the hall of residence where you lived while you were there on campus, a foundation, a faculty. You can indicate that you would like to support one of the open campus sites, for example, the St Kitts and Nevis site. So you can log on and support you can donate via online. You can also call us at the site 465-2190 or email us that's st.kits@open.uwi.edu, and we can arrange to collect the funds from you.
Right, thank you so much, Ms. Phillip. Ms. Williams, do you have anything else that you would like to contribute as well?
Well, just to, of course, thank you, Devon, for having us here this afternoon, and appeal to my fellow UE alumni who are listening, or the friends and family of those alumni who might want to nudge them and say, there's this thing going on with the Alumni Association. Maybe you might want to take part in it. We thank you for that. So it's important for us. And one of the things that I found very interesting, because mind you, this is a learning process for me as well, the focus about global giving being on Emancipation Day, the 1st of August. We recognize that it's about freedom. It's about building ourselves as independent people, empowering one another. And when you think about what giving can do to emancipate someone, to empower someone, to build someone, to strengthen someone, you realize the significance behind having this event around this time. And if we as a Caribbean people are interested in building ourselves to become more independent, to become more strong, we're going to have to do it by lifting each other up. And so I want to encourage all of the UE alumni to recognize that this is an opportunity for you to strengthen someone, emancipate someone, and build someone else up, as hopefully someone did for you when you were a student. And if you weren't granted with that sort of grace and support, then perhaps it's a fantastic opportunity for you to give it to someone else. So by giving, we strengthen. By giving, we support. By giving, we emancipate. And so hopefully persons see the value in that, and hopefully at the end of the global giving period, we can come back and tell you that we had quite a the most successful global giving period of history.
Right, thank you so much, Ms. Williams. We are at the top of the hour, it's 1:30, and we're going to begin wrapping up this discussion. Let me say thank you guys so much for joining us here on Voices, WINN FM 98.9. For those of you who tuned in late, we were joined by Gail Gray-Phillip, head of the UE Open Campus site, St Kitts, J.N. Williams, newly elected president of the St Kitts and Nevis Alumni Association, and Craig Tuckett, global alumni representative and immediate past president. I see, Mr. Tuckett, you would like to add something quickly before we wrap up. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. So again, yes, we want you to emancipate, educate, donate. And so to do that, we're asking you to participate and become an active member of the St Kitts and Nevis UWI Alumni Association. But there are other perks and benefits as being a member. We have a Pelican Perks program, meaning once you come on and become an active member, you get a membership card. That membership card is redeemable at any chapter globally, which is 25 strong right now, all the way from Africa to Asia, North America, Canada, you name it, we are there. In the Caribbean, of course. If you go with that card and that particular chapter was able to negotiate perks with a hotel, with an airline, with a beauty salon, with a medical doctor, you will be given discounted rates. So you have regional rates or OECS rates or CARICOM rates. If you go to hotels, you can even get a rate that is less than that if you become a member. So the benefits of becoming a member is twofold, because we have a network of close to 300,000 alumni globally. And that's who I represent as the UWI Global Alumni Representative. And we will endeavor to make sure that St. Kitts and Nevis continues to fly high. But of course, I have my responsibility to the region and also globally. So thank you very much again, Devon, and we look forward to seeing many more alumni registering with us and getting things moving.
Right, thank you so much, Mr. Tuckett. Thank you, guys, and I wish you the very best in your future endeavors, and I hope you do have a successful event come Sunday. Have a good one.
Thank you so much.
Having us.
The two voices on WINN FM 98.9. I've been your host for today, Devon Cornelius. And you have a good one. See you tomorrow for Inside the News.
Here are your Horsfield's Value Mart IGA Value Club Blue Tag specials from July 15 through 28. 32-ounce Gatorade, just $4.99. Hawaiian Punch drinks, $11.99. Dannon and Activia yogurts, 4 packs, fit and light,